I was paid $250,000 to pretend I was someone's son, and honestly, I thought it was the easiest money I'd ever make. I was 25, completely broke, rent overdue, credit cards maxed out, the kind of broke where every unknown phone call makes you hope it's a job instead of another bill collector. Then one Tuesday morning, I got a call from a lawyer. He asked if I could meet a client. I almost said no, until he mentioned the payment, $250,000. Bro! I showed up expecting something illegal. Instead, I found an elderly man sitting alone in a hospital room. His name was Mr. Harrison. He looked at me for a long time before quietly saying, "You look almost exactly like him." I frowned. Like who? He smiled sadly. "My son." Silence. Real silence. Then the lawyer finally explained everything. Mr. Harrison's only son had died in a car accident 8 years earlier. His wife passed away not long after. Now he was terminally ill. The rest of the family, the cousins, nieces, nephews, had suddenly started visiting him every day. Not because they loved him, because they wanted his fortune. Then Mr. Harrison looked me in the eye. "I don't want to spend my last week surrounded by people pretending to care." Pause. "So I'm asking you to pretend to be the one person who actually did." Absolute emotional damage. I immediately said no. It felt wrong. Completely wrong. Then he quietly replied, "I'm not asking you to replace my son. I'm asking you to let an old man feel like a father one last time." Bro! That sentence stayed with me. So, I accepted. The rules were simple. Eat dinner with him. Walk with him through the hospital garden. Listen to his stories. Nothing illegal. Nothing romanticized. Just be there. At first it felt painfully awkward. He'd tell childhood stories that weren't mine. Show me old photographs. Talk about birthdays I never celebrated. And honestly, every conversation reminded me I was living someone else's memories. Then something unexpected happened. He stopped talking about the past. Instead, he started asking about me. My real childhood. My real dreams. My real regrets. One afternoon, I finally asked why. He smiled. "Because pretending only works if I forget you're pretending." Silence. Then he laughed softly. "And I stopped pretending a long time ago." Bro. Weeks passed. The hospital staff started treating me like family. Even I forgot why I was there sometimes. Then one evening, I accidentally overheard two relatives arguing outside his room. One of them whispered, "Once the old man dies, that fake son gets nothing." Fake son. The words hit harder than I expected, because for the first time, I realized I didn't care about the money anymore. I just didn't want him to die alone. A few days later, Mr. Harrison asked everyone to leave the room except me. He reached into his bedside drawer, pulled out an old envelope, and handed it to me. Inside wasn't another check. It was a handwritten letter. Across the top it read, "To the son I was lucky enough to meet twice." My hands started shaking. He smiled. "The first one gave me a lifetime." Pause. "You gave me a goodbye." Bro. He passed away 2 days later. At the funeral, his relatives barely looked at me. The lawyer did. After everyone left, he handed me one final envelope. Inside was the promised $250,000, along with another note. "Thank you for never treating my father like a paycheck." And honestly, I think the biggest surprise wasn't that I got paid to pretend to be someone's son. It was realizing, by the end, neither of us was pretending anymore.